on time here. We're going to get the debate started. We will start with opening statements, so each candidate will have 1 minute. We're going to start with place 5, which is Scott Gregson and Frank Arredondo. Mr. Arredondo will be going first. And Taylor will be the timekeeper. He's sitting right over here. And he'll have a yellow card that states that there's 30 seconds to go. And then he'll have the red card that says stop. Okay, so we will begin with place 5. 1 minute each. Opening statements. Mr. Arredondo, you may begin.
Good afternoon. I'm Frank Arredondo. I'm one of 5 generations that has lived or is living in San Marcos. It's called Visit, born in San Marcos. I'm a product of San Marcos High School and Southwest Texas State, now TSU. I'm also a veteran of the Vietnam era and served in the U.S. Marine Corps. I've been on the city council before in the mid-70s, and I was elected mayor. I appreciate you all being here, and I just want to tell you that I have leadership skills, have experience, and I'm mature, and I will bring diversity to the council. And I'm ready to join the council to put public policy in perspective as far as common sense is concerned. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm Scott Gregson, and I'm running to be a voice on City Council that respects what you have to say, and with the experience to lead our city forward while maintaining our unique character, vision, and charm. I believe we must protect and respect our river, defend our neighborhoods from responsible development, demand transparency in government, and work to create meaningful jobs and employ every employable citizen with benefits. I earned a degree in finance from A&M and an MBA from Harvard. With a successful career in managing companies and the finances in the private sector, I bring to our city council a skill set and an analytical background to make certain when companies come asking for our tax dollars, we get what we bargained for. As a small business owner for the last 2 decades and a 15-year resident of this community, I have served and currently serve and volunteer on numerous boards, public and civic, and commissions. I invest my time, talent, and passion for San Marcos out of respect to a great community, and I'm asking for your vote for city council. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, round 1 question. And so, Mr. Gregson, you will begin. And there will be 90 seconds to answer question number 1. Every year, city council candidates include the need for living wage job growth in San Marcos as part of their platform. Do you believe the city has an effective process for granting incentives for job growth, and how would you improve it or use it to deliver more living wage jobs to the city? Mr. Gregson.
Great question. It's important that we continue to focus on raising the average wage in our community, but it's important that we also, when we provide incentives, we give those incentives for jobs above the living wage, not just jobs that keep us where we are. I think that we have had a regional partnership, and in GSMP it has done an effective job. They brought Pipe here, they brought Amazon here. Those are headline-making jobs that allow us to hold our head very high in the process. In terms of how we continue to do that, I think in many ways San Marcos is such a unique place, and that is our most cherished asset we have. We have a great river, we have a great environment, we have a great university, we have great neighborhoods, and quite frankly, we have an engaged population of people who I think any company would look and want to be here. We've got to continue to focus on our educational process, getting our students and making sure we have a sustainable process. We have an effort where our students grow up so our families here can have them graduate and be here and come home and have jobs here. I think that we're doing a great job. I think we need to continue to do a great job. We've leveraged our economic development dollars, and initially 1-to-1, now 1-to-3, and this year 1-to-5 in terms of the investment that we're making in our regional effort and in our economic development. Thank you.
I believe that we need to have smart growth here in San Marcos. advantage to business that want to come into San Marcos. Business is going to come to San Marcos. We're the border, whether we like it or not. Our role is to ensure that those who do come, that we provide incentives, that they do provide living wage jobs with health benefits. That's the only way that the average person is going to be able to afford a mortgage, which is something that y'all are interested, we're interested. The city should be interested because that provides property tax money, that provides community, and it provides an atmosphere where you do want to bring up your children. We need to continue to partner with the schools to ensure that we have the best. When businesses come into San Marcos, they look at the schools first, and then they look at the city. So we need to be able to put our best foot forward and ask and demand when we do get business to come to town that we want the best for San Marcos to protect the resources that have been mentioned here, such as our revenue. Thank you.
Question 2, Mr. Arredondo, you will go first. While tens of millions of dollars are being spent on roads in and around San Marcos, many of our roads cannot be widened, and despite talk, little investment in alternative forms of transportation is currently being made. What is your plan to prevent future growth from bogging down our transportation network?
Invariably, there has been a lot of traffic in San Marcos, especially with the student population coming in, and San Marcos being the fastest growing city for the past 3 years in the nation. Some of the ideas that we have that I would propose is to get a transportation plan together. We need to have more access to rail that will bring students in and out. We need to have a good bus system. There's not anything that we can do with streets as they are now unless we're willing to pay to gain more right of way, and that would be expensive. We need to find avenues, find roads to build to take traffic around and out of San Marcos where they don't have to come into the downtown area. So one of the things as a city council person that I would push is to work closely with the Texas Department of Transportation, the Regional Mobility Agency, and all our entities here in San Marcos, such as the schools and the university, to make this happen.
I think transportation starts with public policy in terms of where our development is and how dense we allow our development to be. We continue to focus on areas that are miles away from our existing development. All we do is continue to add to a transportation gridlock. Adding new lanes isn't a solution. Adding new forms of transportation on our existing lanes is. I know we have a complete street policy in our city that allows for bicycles and cars. We have a safe passing ordinance that allows for bicycles to be here as well. I know that the reason that we don't see more bicycles on our streets is it's scary to ride a bicycle out there. And I think there would be a lot more people who would do it if we would provide that. I agree with Mr. Arredondo that public transportation is critical to making certain that we keep the minimum number of vehicles on our streets. I think that also with respect to our student population, it's important that we place them as close as we can to the university in areas where we all agree that they should be. For example, Mr. Casey's development on Thorpe Lane, I think, was an excellent use of space for apartments. It provides a walkable, bikeable solution close to a food service operation for a project that serves our university and a growing university will have. So I think it's important that we also focus on commuter rail. We do the best we can to push that whole process forward. Thank you.
Okay, question number 3, Mr. Gregson, you'll go first. San Marcos's growth over the past few decades increased the city's need for staff and facility space. To this end, the city has been working on a facilities master plan. Would you support a property tax increase in order to build new facilities such as a new city hall?
I think any tax increase will be the decision the voters will make. I think it's important that we also consider that as a growing city, we do have increased facility needs. We also have aging facilities where we now run our government. And it's important that we make certain that we have a functional government that can work for us. I think that we have opportunities to be able to utilize our existing facilities as excess facilities if we put them in a new location. But in terms of supporting a tax increase, that is a voter decision. I will not increase taxes to support the operations of this city. Now, that being said, it's important we also consider as we give incentives, as we give away our sales tax dollars, as we give away property tax dollars, those are the kinds of things that are required to fund the cost of bonds that will be required to be sold to finance this type of operation. I think there's an opportunity for us to leverage the city's efforts through a public-private partnerships, to partner with development groups, to be able to help leverage our money and our presence. I think there's also opportunity for us as we make these decisions where we're going to put these facilities, to look at that as a development, an economic development opportunity for our city. Thank you.
I would look at all avenues before considering the tax increase. I think that as realtors, I can give you this analogy. When you want to sell a piece of property, you have that property dressed up, you clean up the landscape, pretty up the facade, and you clean up the inside, you take all the clutter away. I think just as the same way as new businesses come into town, they'll see our city hall as being attractive and functional. So there is a need to improve our facilities. The established crowded facility they're in, but I also believe, just as GSMP has been put together as a public-private enterprise, that the same thing could happen in getting a public-private developer to put a city hall complex with retail shops and enhance the look of the city hall, as well as provide taxes to come into the city. So I know we would have to have a bond, and we could keep a tax increase from happening when you're having this public-private private property partnership. We would help the whole lot.
Okay, question number 4. Mr. Arredondo, you'll go first. Do you support keeping the Greater San Marcos Partnership at or above its current funding level and in its current role as agent for the City of San Marcos? What do you feel is the appropriate term length for agreements between the GSMP and the city?
I wholeheartedly agree that we need to keep the GSMP. We need to keep the professionalism and the capability of that staff to continue doing what they have. Just the recent coming of Epic Piping and Amazon announcing just shows us that they're just beginning to do what we've asked them to do. I would, for one, not go for another one-year contract. I would give them a multi-year contract. I think it was insane the time that they spent, the city staff spent, and the partnership spent in trying to negotiate a contract on the values. I think we need to understand how valuable this entity is, and when something's working, don't change it. Just keep enhancing it, support it, and let's bring jobs to San Marcos, living wage jobs that will help our citizens to put food on the table and to have a quality of life.
I know that as I understand the government relationship here, current councils can't bind future councils. So I have no issue making this contract a rolling one-year contract, which is exactly what it was when it was before. I think the deliberations that were held at council allowed us an opportunity to get a bit more insight into what GSMB is, what it does for us. And as I said earlier in my comments, we moved from a 1-to-1 to a 1-to-3, now to a 1-to-5 ratio in terms of our investment versus private investors' investment. So we have $1.5 million, is what I understand the current projected budget for GSMB to be this next year. The city's investment is at $360,000, the same amount as it's been. Now, would I like to see our regional partners pony up some more? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're going to benefit, they need to pay more. Just like we have with our water contract, we're paying an equal share with that. Now, with respect to the agency relationship, I have no issue with the professional staff that we have there. In fact, I applaud their efforts on behalf of the city. What I do want to make certain of is that as we look at each one of these fields, we make certain that what we get is what we think we get. At the end of the day, it's our tax dollars, guys. It's our tax dollars. And I want to make sure that ultimately we get the win, and our workers get the win, and our citizens get the win. Someone applying to us doesn't just get the windfall. So it's important that we watch our P's and Q's. Thank you very much.
Okay, fifth and final question. Mr. Gregson, you'll go first. As a council member, how would you balance the objectives of development, neighborhood and environmental protection, and the preservation of private property rights?
I think it's important that we focus on a couple of things as a community. We spent the last year in the development of a comprehensive master plan. It was, quite frankly, an effort by 50 or more folks with lots of input, lots of consultants, lots of staff time, to be able to come up with and litigate, in effect, a solution for our growth that we need to stick to. And as a council member, I'm committed to stick to that plan. If you look at the various objectives that that plan had, environment, infrastructure, all those things, economic development, they were all taken into account. So from the standpoint of where we go, the roadmap that I'm on is to make certain that we look at the comprehensive master plan that our entire community has worked on and has decided to move forward. Thank you.
And would you repeat the question again?
As a council member, how would you balance the objectives of development, neighborhood and environmental protection, and the preservation of private property rights?
I'm a proponent of property rights. We need to ensure that our neighborhoods, our established neighborhoods are protected. We need to ensure that any development that takes place, of course, protects our river to begin with. Also, the rights of people that own property need to be taken into consideration. I hope this is not a Governor Perry Oops moment. Let me say this. I'm very concerned about how San Marcos is growing. We need to ensure that the rights of our neighborhoods are protected. We also need to make it clear that any development that takes place is put in place that the land, I forget the name of the committee, that proposed areas of San Marcos that should be built for businesses and for residential growth, which is away from the hill country and over to the east side of the 35.
Thank you both. We will finish with closing statements, and you'll have 2 minutes each for that. And Mr. Arredondo, you will go first.
I was in city council back in the 70s. Things have changed dramatically since I was in the council, both technologically and education-wise. As I've said before, that takes time to catch up to. But one thing that transcends all that is common sense and experience. In my life, I have been in leadership positions. I had to make decisions. I've been a committed public servant in whatever capacity I serve, be it in the schools, when the children are, or in our local schools. I was either an officer president of the and Boosters Club, the Football Boosters Club, active in the community. I have always been the type of person that somebody has to do it, and I step forward. Today, we're at a crossroads. The city council balance needs to be maintained. I am for continued growth, for smart growth, to bring development into San Marcos that will provide housing, that will provide property taxes, that provide the auxiliary benefits of home ownership. People have to buy furniture, they have to go to the grocery store, buy staples. It all rolls around. We also have to be cognizant of the fact that we want large businesses to come into San Marcos. We need to provide for executive housing as well. It's well known that the president of Piping had to go to New Braunfels to find a house. So we need to balance affordable housing that's needed for majority of our residents, as well as executive housing. And I appeal to you as realtors to join us to try and develop San Marcos so that we can get housing and more business into San Marcos.
First of all, thank you again for inviting me. My name is Scott Gregson. I'm running to be a voice on the City Council that respects what you have to say. And the experience to lead our city forward while preserving our unique character, vision, and charm. I believe we must protect our river, defend our neighborhoods from irresponsible development, demand transparency in government, and work to create meaningful jobs that will employ every employable citizen with benefits. I earned a degree in finance from A&M, an MBA from Harvard. With a successful career in managing companies and the finances in the private sector, I bring to our city a skill set and an analytical background to make certain when companies come asking for our tax dollars, we get what we bargained for. As a small business owner for the last 2 decades and a 15-year resident of this community, I've served and currently volunteer on numerous public and civic boards and commissions. I invest my time, talent, and passion for San Marcos out of respect to a great community in which we live. Each of you represents our community every day to individuals and families looking for a greater tomorrow and the hope and prospect for a better future. I know why I'm here, and I believe most of you are here for the same reason. You love this town and its way of life. As we grow, we must at the same time protect this unique charm and character. How do we do this? By protecting our environment, defending our neighborhoods from irresponsible development, and by sticking to the plan we developed as a community. I ask that you support me in my campaign to represent you on City Council. Let's have the San Marcos we have and we want in the future. That's why we're here. I'm Scott Gregson. I'm running for City Council, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
One more round of applause for Place 5 candidates. Thank you both very much.